Welcome back Sunbro. We hope you all in great health and great money. Today we are going to talk about coping mechanisms and problem-solving strategies. Anxiety and stress can occasionally be found in daily life. Stress is normal, but if you lack the skills to handle it, it can eventually lead to mental diseases and negatively affect daily life. What is a coping mechanism? Coping mechanisms are techniques you might employ to deal with circumstances that result in psychological stress or trauma. Everyone, including you, must have experienced stress as a result of various life events. Stress can result from a variety of situations, including divorce, miscarriage, and the loss of a loved one. Even situations that are frequently regarded as pleasant, like getting married, having kids, or purchasing a new home, might make you feel overwhelmed. You can control the emotional feelings that result from the stressful circumstance by using this coping mechanism method. Anger, despair, loneliness, anxiety, and depression are a few examples. This involves the capacity to uphold ideals or views, problem solve, interact socially, maintain one's health, and fulfill commitments. Coping strategies can also be seen as a way to manage stress while continuing to go toward your goals in life. Why are coping mechanisms crucial? Genetics, environmental stressor, and a person's capacity for stress management are the three key elements that, in general, have the biggest impact on someone's mental health. The first two factors, genetics and stressor, tend to be outside of your control. Coping strategies, on the other hand, are abilities that you can pick up and use. By lowering stress first, you can implement a coping method. Reduced stress makes it simpler for you to think clearly, which improves your ability to solve difficulties. For instance, take a brief break by unwinding or engaging in something else. Being able to overcome obstacles is essential for avoiding health problems brought on by stress. Coping techniques in everyday life. Each person may have different coping mechanisms, depending on the unique personalities, the kind and source of their stress, and other factors. However, in general, psychologists categorize coping mechanisms into two broad groups: problem and emotion-focused coping. 1. Coping with emotions. This coping method consists of coping skills that are concerned with your emotional condition. The key is to lessen negative feelings of guilt, anxiety, fear, grief, and frustration that come with a stressful situation. When you can't control the stressor, this is the only way you can use your coping mechanisms. By shifting emphasis and attention away from the problem's root, emotional-focused coping can be accomplished. You could, for instance, write about your issues, meditate, or pray. However, there are occasions when using coping mechanisms that focus on emotions can lead you to put off dealing with the root of the issue. This is what makes this approach to long-term problem-solving less effective. This tactic is dangerous when you need to find a quick solution to your issues. For instance, early treatment of chronic illnesses and financial troubles. Emotion-focused coping techniques can also be harmful or even make issues and stress worse. This might happen when you get dependent on unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as abusing drugs or alcohol, smoking excessively out of stress, binge eating, or spending excessive amounts of time playing video games or watching television. 2. Problem-focused coping. This is the most effective coping technique when compared to the others. This approach concentrates on the source of the stress as well as the level of stress. This means that you can use this one coping method to deal with stress as well as its causes. You might not be able to use this tactic in every circumstance, though. However, using this approach is actually the best way to manage stress that results from pressure or work-related stress while achieving a goal. However, emotion-focused coping is the only way to deal with the stress of losing a loved one or depression brought on by an unchangeable circumstance. There are three key considerations while using this coping mechanism: effective time management, problem-solving abilities, and social support from individuals in your surrounding environment. Applying this strategy effectively also requires having an optimistic personality. The reason for this is that in order to solve the issue, you must first have the confidence to judge whether the circumstance can be controlled or not. In order to select the best coping mechanism, you must be aware of the issue at hand and the best method for addressing the stressor. Training techniques for applying coping mechanisms. The type of situation you are facing will determine how effective your coping mechanism is, but there are many effective strategies to solve the issue, such as adopt a more optimistic mindset, for instance by seeing a challenge as a chance to gain new knowledge and experiences. When faced with diverse issues, try to remain composed. For instance, before making a decision, take a deep breath and relax. Recognize that nobody is perfect, so learn to accept yourself and others. Take steps to improve yourself by learning from your errors and avoiding making the same ones again. making an effort to view the current issue objectively. Develop a strong social network to rely on for help when resolving issues or achieving objectives. Thanks for watching Sunbro. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share if you find this helpful. Come again to our next meeting Sunbro.